we are with Tony Lam. Tony, you've been an amazing business and entrepreneurial leader, especially during this time of COVID, as we're basically experiencing this crazy shift of economy. But before we jump into any of the questions I have for you, can you tell us a bit about yourself? I want to hear again. I know, but I want people to learn about your story. You have this amazing story of how you've come overseas, and because of the help and generosity of others, really be able to get that chance of self-fulfillment and growth. I would love to hear that story if you could share it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Francis, for having me here, by the way. So I was born in 1975, so you could do the math. Yes, I'm about 45 years old. I was only 3 months old when the fall of Saigon happened. And so my father, who's actually a naval captain in the South Vietnamese government, he was able to just basically tell all the family members, let's go and let's get on the boat, guys, and flee the country. And so I was only 3 months old. I've traveled to the Philippines, and we stayed with the refugee camps over there. And then eventually we were sponsored by a Catholic family through Catholic Charities in California. During this time, the church organizations were looking for, families that wanted to sponsor. And so a complete stranger, family basically brought us in, gave us clothing, gave us a roof over our head, provided food.
Wow.
And from that moment on, when my parents tell me about this story, I'm forever grateful. And they're no longer here, but their kids are still here, and I still communicate with them. At least we're on Facebook, and we communicate that way. And so I'm very fortunate that I came over to the U.S. when I was very young. I went through the whole educational system, went to a college in Cal Poly, and got a business degree. I got an opportunity to work in a high-tech company, Cisco Systems.
Cool.
And now I've gone into the entrepreneurship world. And it's been so exciting in the last 15 years working for myself, being my own boss. And I want to be able to, inspire as well as mentor the younger generations and pay it forward, Francis.
I love that. Such a beautiful message. Now, we've heard from many other speakers in the past that, and so one of the things that we supported in Imagine Talks a lot is entrepreneurship really is the only key potential to actually find real, true personal wealth. But as a successful entrepreneur yourself, do you believe entrepreneurship is for everyone?
I get this question quite a bit. Honestly, it's not for everyone. Okay. There's a specific type of, how do I say it? Individual, right? Entrepreneurship, if you're willing to, willing to take the risk of having highs and lows through this journey. And that's what I see when you open a business. It's a journey. And you're going to have your highs and lows. And if you are the type of person that, would rather not deal with the stress, have a steady paycheck, absolutely. A lot of people are, do fit in that category. And they could also make investments into other businesses, right? But I think that in life, you should, I think, take a risk or two and try to open a business, and learn from that. What I've done throughout my life is, not all my businesses have been successful. The ones that have failed, I look at it and I try to figure out what did I do wrong to make sure that I don't repeat that same mistake. So think of it as a paid tuition, right? Money that you had invested and you lost, but you learn from that.
Right.
Just like when you go to school, you're learning, through taking courses, right? So that's how I see, running a business and entrepreneurship, more in that sense.
So for people who want to see whether or not they are cut out for it and how much they can afford the tuition, right?
Mhm.
What are some really smart ways, safe ways? Obviously, anytime you go into entrepreneurship, there's a risk.
Yes.
That is by definition the nature of the beast, right?
Yes.
And what are some ways that people who are just starting out can try to minimize that so it doesn't wipe out their savings
Yeah.
and they make really bad choices that devastates them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you go into opening a business, you need to do your homework,
Okay.
right? You need to have a business plan. At the end of the day, the reason why you do this business plan is so that, it makes you think about, did you go and test this product? Did you get feedback on it? Who are your competitors? How big is what we call TAM, total addressable market, right? We got to make sure that there's a market fit for your product. And so a lot of, putting a business plan, I really see on the average for us to do one, at least a month or even 6 weeks to put one together, so that after we analyze it, we can determine whether or not we want to move forward. The other thing I tell people is that, before you jump into something, if you have a family, obviously you want to have enough savings, and ask yourself, if I don't have any revenue for the next 18 to 24 months,
wow,
do I have enough savings to be able to pay for my expenses?
2 years.
Yeah. So, and that's why I tell people, like, otherwise you have to raise money.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. Either you use your savings or you find other investors that will put money in to get you to that 2-year mark. But, I tell people that going into business, you got to have that passion, and that passion can't be a 1 month, a 3 month, or a 1 year thing. It has to be, at least 5 years or longer, because why do I tell people that? Is because you're going to have many bumps in the road. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be discouraged because you're going to hear the noise out there. Like, they'll discourage you sometimes, like, see, I told you, this wasn't meant for you. I told you that this product there's no fit for it, and so you just gotta ignore the noise, right? And tell yourself, and really, be able to overcome these obstacles. Okay. But if you work hard at it, the other recommendation I do tell them is surround yourself with positive people.
Okay.
Right. So positive people, and find the people who have succeeded, in the space, and ask them to be your mentor. Mm-hmm. Not every single person you're going to ask is going to, say, yes, I'll be your mentor. Right. But, you want to find individuals who have successful track records and be able to get some advice from them. And a lot of people, I think, in life are more than willing to do that. I mean, I am one of those people,
Right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who want to pay it forward. And, I'll give you an example, Francis. I had one of my friends, she saw my Wingstop and she was like, hey, Tony, I want to open a restaurant too, a Wingstop. I said, have you ever worked in the food space before? And she said, no. And I said, okay, before you even go into the food space, come work at my Wingstop for 2 weeks. Now, I didn't ask her to come work at my Wingstop for free labor. Well, yeah, I did. But, so she went, she worked there. She worked there for 2 weeks, right? And, if she came back and she said, Tony, wow, I worked there for 2 weeks. It was a lot of hard work and, but I can handle it, more power to you.
Great.
Please move forward, go and open a restaurant. You're doing your due diligence. You gotta do this. Now, she actually came back and said, Tony, that was a lot of hard work, and I'm so happy that you gave me this opportunity. Well, she didn't invest. She wouldn't have lost $400 or $500, had she gone in, right, without having done her due diligence or, having someone be as open as me, allowing her to go in and get behind the scenes. Yeah. I saved her $300,000-$400,000 in investment money right there, so, again, it's finding a mentor, like I said, someone that's willing to give you a chance or give you some opportunity or guide you, in the right way so that you don't have to make these unnecessary mistakes,
Right.
so to speak. Save yourself a couple of years from doing that.
I love that. And so my next question for you then is, do you have a simple, to share with the audience here, a simple must-have checklist that must be in place before you even begin? Like mentor, check. Business idea, check. 15 to 24 months of savings. Like, do you have a simple like must-have before you even go out there and do anything?
Yeah.
You must have this.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed the top three right there, is what I would tell people. Now, that's if you decide to go on your own. Now, if you decide to have partners in the group, my thing is, I'm in 10 different businesses. I have 10 different partners, sets of people, and it's very important that you get to know your partner at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people will tell you, don't do business with your friends and family.
Yes.
To a certain extent, that is true. But you really have to be able to sit down with them, get to know them. There might be complete strangers that you're trying to partner up with.
Mm-hmm.
But you really need to go out to the movies, have dinner. Before you spend the next potentially 3 to 5 years, maybe even your lifetime with them.
Yeah.
You want to get to know them, right? And I think that I've been successful. I mean, my Wingstop business, I've had the same partners now for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of other businesses, all of them, 5 to 6 years going strong. So,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then now talk about some of your other businesses outside from Wingstop. Tell us about this beautiful product we have right here in front of us. What is this? How did it get started? And what was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So my partner Tammy, she came up with the Vietnamese coffee cold brew. So what happened? Long story short, her uncle back in Vietnam owns one of the largest coffee bean plantation in Dalat.
Wow.
And he's more famous, or I should say, most of his business is in the European market, but not so much in the U.S. market. Well, my partner, she's very talented. She's a formulator. He basically asked her, "Can you come up with a product and take this to the U.S. market?" Her background is in beauty, and how we got connected was, I'm in the food space.
Right.
She needed someone in the food space to help her out. Now, when she, met with me, it was very interesting because, she made me think. She said, "Tony, the average coffee drinker drinks coffee twice a day. And just imagine, it's a legal drug, right? Caffeine is a
Right.
legal drug. Now imagine if they drink one bottle a day for us. That's $4 that we're selling this as retail. That's over $1,200. This is where I talk to you about TAM, total addressable market.
Right.
Right? The market is really big for this product, right? I said, okay, that's really interesting. So you could see the opportunity here. So I said, I'm running the numbers in my head. And I said, wow, you know what? There's a huge opportunity in the coffee space. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to go find market fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do people think about the coffee, right? So we've done so many samples. I mean, I can't tell you, it had to be at least close to 100 different events just passing out samples. And the beautiful thing about her is she takes in that feedback, and she's an artist, but she takes in feedback of what people have to say, and she will tweak the formulation if necessary, right? And so this has been going on for the last 3 years. We finally came up with the final formulation back in July. And this is what everybody is happy with.
Wow.
And so now in the last...
How long did that take?
That took... Now, I've been with the company for a year and a half now, close to a year and a half right now. So for a year, it was just a lot of testing.
Wow.
But we released this back in July. Now the opportunity that's put in front of us is we have access to 45,000 convenience stores.
My gosh.
We're talking to Costco. We're talking to Whole Foods.
Wow.
and we're also talking to Walmart right now. And so back to my, I'm using my formula. You want to have the mentor. So one of the board members on our company, her name is Vanessa Du. She happens to be the co-founder of Health Aid Kombucha.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we have a veteran CPG in the bev space in our company. She currently has her product in 30,000 locations today.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because of the learnings that I have done in the past, I'm able to fast forward and speed this process, right? We've made a lot of progress in the last, honestly, the last half year. And this year, I think that we're gonna we want to educate people about Vietnamese coffee. A lot of people out there, they don't know that Vietnam is the second largest producer and exporter of coffee beans.
That's so cool.
But it takes an army of people to educate, the consumer. But I have to say that the feedback that people have been giving us is they love the coffee. And so it's just a matter of raising money and spending it on marketing, right? Because you got to build that brand awareness at the end of the day. I can be in 45,000 convenience stores, but if people don't know how to find me, the convenience stores could say, you know what, Tony, this is not moving. Remove it from the shelf.
Right.
You see? And so very important, even though you have a great product, you got to make sure you have a marketing budget to go with that. Because like I said, you're going to have to be handing out a lot of samples. Because I know, just like my Wingstop, if you eat the lemon pepper wings, I know I will convert any new customer to be a lifelong fan of Wingstop. I know that if I can get the person to taste this product, they will be an OmniBev fan. That's how confident I am. Yes. And anybody that goes into entrepreneurship and has either a service or a product has to have that mentality. Right. If I can get that person to try it out, I will make them, a lifetime, fan of my product.
I love that. We have a few minutes left here. What is you're already involved in 10 different businesses. What does the future of Tony Lam look like in, say, the next 3 to 5 years? Obviously, Bevmo is like an upswing. But what do you want to do professionally, personally, community-wise?
Yeah, Francis, I'm getting to the point where I get more excited watching people open businesses. And I do want to do a lot more mentorship as well as philanthropy. That's something that is on my bucket list that I've always wanted to do, is give back to the community. One of the things that we want to do is give back to the Vietnam farmers, for example, who they're growing the beans for us, right? And come back to the community, come back to my roots, and be able to give back and pay it forward.
Why is giving back so important?
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a complete stranger, a family in the U.S. who sponsored my family.
That's beautiful.
And so just out of kindness from that, that's in my DNA.
Right.
So I want to do the same thing.
You want to bring it full circle.
Yes.
Tony, thank you so much. I think that's all the time we have right now, but it has been so inspiring, so enlightening, and so inspirational to listen to your story, to see how you've grown, your insights about entrepreneurship, the product that you are launching, and the excitement that we can get access to it. And of course, what you want to leave behind is your legacy in our community. Thank you for joining us. And I hope to see you in a more public, open venue in 2022. But for now, thank you so much for joining us for Imagine Talks 2021.
Thank you. Thank you, Francis, for having me there.